I've been working at the Steans Center for just the past 2 quarters, so I guess like 8 months or so.
My name is Elisa Grant-Holler, and I've been working at the Steans Center for a little over a year now. Started last year, so.
This is my second quarter.
This is my second quarter here.
I've been working at the Steans Center this is my 3rd year. I started as a service learning coordinator when I was a junior, and now I'm a grad student, and I coordinate the AmeriCorps M3C program.
I've been working here for almost a year. I'm going into the 3rd quarter right now. So.
I have been working here for approximately 6 months, so I started in the summer.
This is my 3rd year working at the Steans Center.
I have been working at the Steans Center since August of 2009.
Since the beginning of the school year.
I've been working at the Steans Center for about 2 years now.
A little over 2 years.
I've been a service learning coordinator for about a year and a half. This is my 2nd year.
I've been working here at the Steans Center since my sophomore year, fall of my sophomore year.
I've been here for a total of 7 months so far.
I started beginning of this past summer, so like 8 months or so.
I started working the fall quarter of this year, so it's been about 4 months, I'd say.
I was all of those. I was really excited to start my new job. It was my first time having a job in Chicago as a college student, so that was cool. I was really nervous because I wasn't sure exactly what I was supposed to do or all my responsibilities. I was really excited to start working in the communities that the Steans Center works with. I was excited to meet my coworkers and all of that, but yes, I was definitely nervous the first couple of days.
I was overwhelmed at the beginning, and then you get a hang of it quite quickly. I don't know, there's usually people around to help push. It's beneficial.
Well, when I first began, I was a bit overwhelmed. There was a lot to learn, but as I got started, I noticed that we had a lot of resources and quickly made me feel comfortable and get adjusted.
It seemed like it was a pretty intense job, but once you started getting in the swing of things and actually doing the work, it grows on you and it gets a lot easier because you start to know what to do. But it's definitely exciting because I get to go out into a lot of different communities I've never been a part of, never really seen before, and actually meet people and interact with them and see what it's like. So it's a good mixture of emotions.
Well, at the beginning I was confused because I had no idea what am I supposed to do. Everything seemed so new and it took me a while to realize what am I supposed to do. But then after 3 weeks I got used to it, and then now I'm the best worker over here. So.
When I started, we got to go on this great kind of group field trip through different communities in Chicago, and since I was new to the city, it was a really great way for me to learn way more about the city than I ever would have, and that was really exciting. And I got to learn about more of the values of what the Steans Center does, so I was pretty excited.
I think I'm rooted in social justice. I had an opportunity to spend time at a social justice institute for 2 years. I know that sounds kind of weird, but for 2 years. And I think for me that has always been something that I was interested in. So being able to do that every day in a work environment is something that I was very interested in and always excited about.
I think it's I have a community service scholarship here, so kind of seeing the underpinnings behind the service work that everybody does is very motivating, as well as the idea that the work we do is creating some sort of change is also nice to think about.
I would say that I've always been interested in community service and the service learning classes, which is why I was interested in working here. My commitment to my community and is probably what drives me the most.
I would definitely say the need for social justice, and I see this what the Steans Center, the impact that they're trying to make. So I think it's very important for students to be exposed to service learning.
Boiled down, I just think the change that you're making, basically.
Wow, the love for social justice work, the love for working in different communities and meeting different people and people of like mind and substance, that really is what my passion is.
Hey, my boss, Charlotte, or anyone, any of the staff member that are familiar with what you're doing and can help you out. But also people in the office can help out as well.
Definitely Charlotte. I call Charlotte or email her, and she'll be there.
Who's there for me? Anybody who's behind me. I think the workspace definitely impacts how I work. And so it's really friendly around here, so I just go to whoever's there.
Chad, if he's in, is always very resourceful. Charlotte, of course, like everyone else is going to say, is also a very good source. And Jean is also a very good source. And then every one of your SLCs, fellow SLCs.
I would continue to call and email them, and if they continue to be unresponsive, then I would address it with my direct supervisor, who would then direct me to either going to their classroom and meeting with them there, or going to their professor and addressing it with them.
I've had a lot of unresponsive students, unfortunately, but I think over time sometimes they do become a little bit more responsive. But if they maintain a high level of just not being responsive, then I think it's I will contact my either regional staff person or the employee or my supervisor, or it may get to a point where you have to contact the professor as well. So it really depends on the level of responsiveness.
I usually just report that to my supervisor and then work with them on how to handle it. Usually students, even if they're not initially responsive, I can usually get in contact with them. But if I can't get in contact with them at all, I do go to my supervisor and they help me from there.
I think that would be when you, again, would probably have to contact the professor of the course, because that is when they need to figure out how they're going to pass the course itself. So yeah.
When the student doesn't want to go to a site, I'm usually in contact with a staff member or the professor. When they know that their grade is on the line, they usually step up to the plate.
If it's a legitimate concern, then we'll try to move them to a different site. If it's just them being combative and not wanting to do community service, then we pass it on to the proper people. Usually it'll get to the professor, and then it's the professor's choice whether or not to let them pass or not. But if they have a legitimate concern, then we'll try to accommodate them as best we can.
Well, then I talked a lot with the staff. I had an instance of that last quarter, and so I just talked with Michaela, because she was my staff person, and she was in conversation with the professor a lot, and they kind of came to a conclusion. So I guess I would just talk to the staff person a lot, and the professor too, just to keep them in communication. So.
I would do the same protocol if I had an unresponsive student with the unresponsive site. I will go to an higher power so that they can further reach the site or further communicate with the site.
When sites, I actually had that problem first quarter. They weren't picking up the phone. They answered one email, so